Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing the next part of the series, Digital Art Basics. So if this is the first video that you're seeing, you can check out the links to the previous two videos down below. So this video is going to be about sketching, which for me it's the most important part of drawing, whether it's digital or traditional. The sketch is the base of your drawing, and it's kind of like a guide that helps you when you're coloring or you're lining stuff later on. So here I have a reference picture that I'll be using, and I'll post the link down below, so if you want to try and draw it too, you can. First thing I do when I sketch is I pick a color that's going to go well with the drawing that I'm making. So I usually pick a red or an orange to sketch because those colors, they're found in most skin tones, and when I draw or I paint, I usually leave the sketch slightly visible. So having a color that doesn't stick out too much helps everything kind of blend better in the end. So using the pen tool in red, I start sketching kind of small. And shape is the most important part when you're sketching. When you're drawing, it's easier to sketch if you think of everything like a shape instead of what you're really drawing. And I picked this photo because her hair and face have like really obvious shapes. Like everything's a clean looking shape. And you can see I put like little shapes inside the face. Like it starts with the skull. So she has her eyes right there, and the bone for the nose, I put it in, and those are just placement markers. So whenever I draw a skull whenever I'm going to draw a person because it shows me where everything should go. I have the eye socket, so I can put the eye in there, and you see I'm starting to draw the nose from where the nose bone is, and her nose has a very triangular shape, so that's an easy shape to mimic. And it's okay if your lines aren't super neat and they're kind of scratchy or they're kind of thick in some spots and thin in other spots, because this is just a sketch. This isn't the final drawing. This is just showing you where everything is supposed to go. So if it's messy, don't worry about it. I start to draw a little bit darker when I'm drawing things that I want to stick out in the end when I'm drawing. So the nose shape is a little bit darker because that's going to be a guide for when I'm lining. So things that are lighter, like all those scratchy lines you see in her hair or around her face, those I'm probably going to erase, but the nose shape, definitely not, and the eye shape that I'm drawing right now, definitely not. Again, I'm drawing things with shapes. Her eyebrow has an rounded, kind of like a Nike swoosh, like a rounded shape to it. So I'm mimicking that. And her eye has kind of the shape of an A, with the lash and her bottom eyelid being the triangle part of the A and her actual iris being the line in the middle of the A. So it's easier really if you think about things as shapes, like I said before. And now I'm drawing the shape of her hair, which is kind of like an upside down U. a little triangle cut out of it for her face. And if you look at my drawing and you look at the actual picture, it's not exact. Like, I drew it more stylized instead of realistic, but if you want, you could draw it realistic. It really doesn't matter. I just drew mine a little bit more cartoony. So if you see her eyes, I exaggerate things when I draw. So her eyes are much bigger than in the real picture, and the shapes are more simplified. But if you were to draw it like a realistic image, you'd probably pay more attention to the shapes and put a little bit more detail in there. Everything I'm drawing is like a simplified shape, and I've exaggerated the shapes quite a bit. If you look at the shape of her hair, like I said before, it's an upside down U in the original reference picture, but I made it a little bit more angular in my drawing. I just like the way things look when you push them a little bit more. Right now I am erasing the inside of the bob because that part of her skull isn't visible, so I really don't need it there. And it'll probably just confuse me when I'm trying to draw the actual lines later on. Here I messed up because I made her mouth look a little bit too sad. I'm probably gonna erase that soon. It's very slight, but there is some volume in the front of her bangs, so again, I pushed that, exaggerated it more, and made it more rounded than it actually is in the actual photo. You don't have to really draw all the lines and details in the hair in the sketch, because honestly you're just going to end up drawing it again later on in the actual drawing, so unnecessary, but I just like to do it so I can see what things are going to look like. And there, I fixed her mouth. She's not sad anymore. Here I lowered the opacity on the sketch layer and added another layer so I can just add a few more details that I might have missed before. And later on, I'm gonna probably just merge those two layers together because honestly, they're both sketch layers. It's the same thing. I just wanted some extra detail to give myself a guide for when I'm coloring later on. And I'm just adding a couple of more hairs to her eyebrows, cleaning up around her eyes a little bit, and adding the lashes. Again, I exaggerated things so the lips are a little bit bigger than in the actual image. kind of use reference pictures as like a guide, but I'm never really drawing exactly what's in the picture because I'm not going for realism. So usually if you see any pictures of commissions that I do when it have a picture of the actual person and you see the drawing, things are a little bit more cartoony because I don't know, I don't think a person wanted a realistic picture of them. They wanted something in my style, so I usually just cartoonify it. Again, just cleaning up details like the hair and the shape of the hair, giving myself a better guide for when I color. And I'm probably going to make a video of me coloring this because that'll be the next video in the series will be color. Because what I do is I draw the sketch, I color the sketch, and I do the lines last. I know some people like to do their lines first, but I like to, how do I explain? I like to see things done before they're done. I never really liked like the ugly stage in drawing, so it's like, oh, when you're painting in oils, you have like an ugly stage where things don't look right until you add the details. So even in traditional art, I would do it kind of backwards and put details and stuff and have my sketch showing through. I would paint really thin because I don't like seeing things in the ugly stage, so I work kind of backwards. But anyway, this is the sketch and this is the reference photo, and yeah, I will show you guys the next video pretty soon. I'll color this probably tonight and then post a video sometime this week, maybe next week if I want to space them out. But yeah, try drawing it. You're drawing it yourself, and you can tag me in it on Instagram if you decide you want to draw it. That'd be pretty fun. I'd like to see how you guys interpret the reference picture. So I'll talk to you guys later in the next video. Bye!